How much light do you surround yourself with? Do you make it a point to get outside on a regular, consistent basis to fill your body and your being with light? Or do you spend most of your time, most of your life indoors, underneath artificial fluorescent light that really can mess with your energy system? I'm Laura Lee Humphreys, and in this episode of Faces of Freedom TV, I'll be sharing with you the critical importance that sunlight is to your body to maintain your health, both physically, emotionally, and mentally. So you're going to want to stick around because understanding how important sunlight is just as important as what you eat, what you drink, and the quality of air that you breathe. All of this so that you can create a life that you love. Now, this video is part of the self-care series that's based on the body-based template that I created called the 7 Source Channels of Nourishment. And today in this video, we're talking about the 7th channel or the 7th gate of nourishment. And that correlates with the 7th chakra of your energy system, which is at the top of your head, or the crown of your head, which is also the area that in babies, it's their soft spot at the top of their head before their skull bones grow together. In your endocrine system, then this gate corresponds to your pituitary gland, which is considered to be the mother gland that makes hormones to tell all your other endocrine glands what to do. So this is a very important channel or gate. And so in this gate, what we're talking about is sunlight. So download this assessment. It's a lifestyle assessment guide of the 7 source channels of nourishment. Do that assessment because that will tell you what areas of your life are a little bit out of harmony or out of balance with the other areas so that you can make some changes to nourish yourself to the fullest capacity that you can so that you can be happy, healthy, and thrive. So let's get back to my first question. How much light do you surround yourself with? Do you really make it a point to get outside, to let sunlight be on your skin so that it can do its little chemical magic and create vitamin D, which in recent years we've come to understand just how important vitamin D actually is to help prevent, even reverse a lot of diseases and illnesses, even cancers. So vitamin D is very important for your immune system. And it's actually more like a hormone. It acts like that, more than a vitamin. And it's based or it's built with cholesterol. So it's a fatty type substance and it's made on the surface of your skin that having the sun on your skin stimulates this process that produces vitamin D. So get out into the sun if you don't. Or on the flip side of that, just look at yourself. How are you living your life? Are you spending it most of the time inside, under the fluorescent lights or artificial lighting? In your work and your home environments, how often do you open the drapes, open the curtains and the blinds and actually let natural sunlight come in? Or do you spend much of your time living in darkened, shadow-filled rooms with very little light? Consider that for a moment. Look around at your environment right now. Are you in a well-lit place with natural light, or are you looking in the dark right now watching this video? So think about this. What kind of a metaphor is that actually telling you about other aspects of yourself and areas of your life, of the people that you're in conversation and relationship with? What kind of information do you consume, that you read, that you find on the internet, the music that you listen to? How are you filling your consciousness, your thinking, your awareness? Is it filled with light? Or are there a lot of shadows in your beingness, within yourself, where you've clouded over and suppressed your light because of various emotional and mental congestion factors? Think about this. And where this series of self-care series is all about nourishment, light is one of the primary ways of being nourished. So let's just review again what the definition of nutrition is. So as we know, it comes from the Latin root word nut or nux, which meant the beginning point or the seed of light, the beginning point of life. So it's the things that nutrition is the things that you do that allow light, life force energy into your body, into your being. It's things that you do that attracts more light into you so that the cells of your body and all of the microbial bacteria and microorganisms of your body can feed on that light so they can function optimally, which keeps you functioning optimally and healthy. So in this episode, we're talking about literal light, not just some of the other things that we talked about in the earlier videos of this series. You know, about 100 years or so ago, then our way of living dramatically has changed. And one of the biggest things that made that change was the discovery of electricity and the invention of the light bulb. Up until then people lived most of their days outside. They spent a lot of time connecting with the earth, being out in nature, allowing the sun to be on them, for their bodies to be receiving all of that good vitamin D and all the energetic nourishment. And they were much more in tune with the natural rhythms of the earth, of the night and the day cycles. And then when we got the artificial light, the light bulb, then gradually people migrated indoors more and more. So now that we have light 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it's easy to lose touch with or get out of sync with our natural rhythms of sleep, of waking and resting, because we are always subject to light. So think about this for yourself of how you do your life. Have you lost touch with that natural circadian rhythm to where now your sleep cycles are all messed up and you're having a hard time sleeping because you're not giving yourself the right cycle of light and dark, of sunlight and darkness? Another thing that has happened in the recent years is that we've been taught this story. It's been marketed to us and sold to us very fervently by mainstream medical literature and funded by pharmaceutical companies, pushed through the media to us. And the story is that the sun causes skin cancer. And so you have to stay away from it. You have to keep yourself fully covered and out of the sun as much as possible. And yet, consider how much skin cancer has actually risen in the last several years. How many more people have it now than they used to have it? So let's really unpack this story and unravel it and find the actual truth that's within it. It doesn't take much to find. As with anything like this, all you need to do is follow the money. So go do an internet search and type in the words sun scam, and you'll find all kinds of information on this topic, as well as properly done, real legitimate research, scientific studies that were not funded by medical establishments, pharmaceutical companies, and not paid by them to be pushed out through the media for you to read. Those are not legitimate sources of anything scientific. They're too biased. So you've got to look at research that's done by other people, other companies that are not funded by drug companies and by the mainstream medical establishment. So what will you find? You will find a lot of research showing that the actual cause of skin cancer is not the sun. It's the harmful, toxic, carcinogenic ingredients and chemicals that are loaded into all of those creams and potions and the sunscreens and the sunblock that you load your skin up with, that you slather and smear on every inch of your skin because you've been taught to believe, you've bought into the story that the sun is out to get you. well, let's really put that story into the trash bin where it belongs. And think about this logically. If the sun were really your enemy, if the sun were really that dangerous, how do you think people have survived on this planet for literally thousands and thousands and thousands of years? If the sun really caused cancer and was really that damaging, do you not think that problems would have presented long before now, and that people would have become aware of that? Or perhaps the human race wouldn't have even developed in the way that it has if the sun was actually dangerous and out to get you. Let's just let that one go. It's not true at all. And there's science to show it. So, what the truth of the matter is, and what research actually does show, is that sunlight, with its full spectrum rays of light, is absolutely critical to your health. You have to have it. We mentioned vitamin D, that's only one thing. It's just as important as the quality of food that you eat, the quality of air that you breathe, the quality of water that you drink. You have to have the benefits of being in the sun if you want to be healthy. So, take off some clothes and let the sun actually touch your skin. Sunlight stimulates the endocrine system, which is what maintains physical, mental, and emotional health. As we mentioned before, it correlates with the pituitary gland, which is the mother gland to tell all of the other endocrine glands what to do to maintain your health. Another thing that research has found is that the actual cause of skin cancer, in addition to the carcinogenic toxic chemicals in sunblock and sunscreens, is having a poor diet. A diet that does not have enough fruits and vegetables in them that are really high in antioxidants. If you have a diet high in antioxidants because you're eating a lot of produce, then your body can ward off any potential destructive things from your environment in all ways, and the sunlight rays is one of them. So there is a thing with the sunblock and sunscreen that they tell you is to block out the UV rays, right? Well, there's two types of UV light. There's one type that's more dangerous or can be correlated to the development of cancer. And then the other form of UV light does pretty much the opposite. It's beneficial. It's what you need. So, which type of those UV light radiation of the sun does sunscreen and sunblocks actually block? Not what you would think. It blocks out the type of UV light that is actually good for you, that you actually need. And instead, it allows the other type of UV frequencies that do contribute to cellular problems if you get too much of it. It allows that UV light in. So if you have a diet high in antioxidants of fruits and vegetables, then it can help mitigate any problems that your body may run into by being too overly exposed to that UV ray light. And again, think about it. How long have humans been on the earth? How much time have they spent in the sun? They didn't die because they were living in the sun. So, get your facts straight on this one. Again, what are antioxidants? They're the molecules and compounds within the fruits and vegetables that give it the color. You've got to have those for a multitude of reasons, and sun protection is just another one. So, what does sunlight actually do for our bodies? What other things does it do? Well, it helps your body create the vitamin D and store it in the bones in a way that you can't get in any other ways. We've talked about the importance of vitamin D. Sunshine creates micronutrients within your blood and your lymph systems. You've got to have those flowing well. Sunshine affects the electrical properties of your nervous system. Your nervous system is your electrical system of your body. Over your entire skin's surface, there's a lot of sensory nerves. The sunlight, when it hits those nerves, it helps nourish and promote the health and functioning of those nerve receptors. The sun regulates your rhythms of activity and rest. The circadian rhythms that I mentioned earlier. When you have a natural harmonious flow, then you go to bed, you go to sleep easily, you get up easily in the morning. It's a natural flow and rhythm and cycle with nature, with the sun's movement, with the earth's movement around the sun, the natural sunshine, sunset and sunrise, just living in harmony with nature. When the sunlight reaches your eyes first thing in the morning, then it causes your heart rate to increase, your blood pressure and your body temperature to rise slightly, to get you up and going, to wake you up, to help you prepare for your day. Additionally, the hormone cortisol increases, which in this instance and at this time is necessary and a good thing to help you deal with stress, to go about your day, to get up and going. And one of the most important things is that sunshine feeds the brain. Direct sunlight into your eyes first thing in the morning or right before sunset, right before it goes down, it can stimulate the pineal gland and cause it to create various chemicals and compounds that then stimulate and activate other parts of your brain. And those parts of your brain are the parts that regulate or contribute to stimulate your creativity. And this is so important because if you are creative, what does that mean? What does that open up for you by having that sunlight stimulating your creativity? It makes your dreams, your imaginations more vivid. It helps with having a wider range of speech and writing, of receiving intuitive downloads of information for song, for prose, for inventions, and knowingness of the past and the future. All of that under the umbrella of creativity is what nourishes and gives juice to your life. It's what gives you purpose. It gives you things to do when you're up and around, about running around in your life during sunshine times, during the day, allowing you to sleep and to rest and rejuvenate at night. So seriously, let's look at how you can develop your creativity by nourishing yourself with the sun. On the flip side of that, you're familiar with seasonal affective disorder, aren't you? It's a thing that a lot of people struggle with, especially those who live in the northern climates where there's not a lot of sun, where the summers are short. So when you're don't have a lot of sun, or an environment where there's a lot of rain and cloudiness and overcast skies, there's heaviness, there's negativity, there's depression. It's easy for you to get bummed out and just low and gloomy. And it's been proven over and over through science, so many people have experienced that. It is a thing. You've got to have sun. All of that negativity, it can't exist with light. Not just the physical, the way how you feel, but your mind and your emotions. Energetically, your consciousness. That negativity and heaviness the darkness can't exist in light. A lot of diseases, as we know, are contributed to not having enough vitamin D and hence sunlight. So what can you do with all of this? So here's my suggestion for you this week, is start giving yourself heliotherapy. So what is that? That is literal sunbathing, letting the sun bathe your body, touch your skin. Not doing it going overboard and crazy about it so that you get sunburned. Let's keep some common sense about us when we do this, but learn how to nourish your body by receiving light, receiving sunlight. So how do you do this? You look at you spend as much time as you can between like early spring into late fall, as much of the year as you can. And in the early spring, this is what I've done for several years. You start out as soon as you can, weather permitting. You go out for 10 minutes at a time, like 10 minutes laying on your front side and then turn over, 10 minutes allowing the sun to hit your backside, so that you're feeding yourself, you're receiving the nourishment of the sun. And then gradually, slowly over a few weeks, work up to where you're spending 15 to 20 minutes laying on your front side, 15 to 20 minutes laying on your back side. So that total that you're getting 30 to 40 minutes of sun nourishment. Doing this like 3 to 4 times a week, and you're good. And as I mentioned, doing it as much time throughout as much of the year as you can. The times of the day that are good for that are like in the morning between like say 10 and noon, 10 a.m. to noon, and then in the afternoon from like 3 to 6 p.m. So just look and see how the weather is and how your schedule is, and trying to fit that in 3 to 4 times a week, and notice how you feel. For me, I can really tell a difference when I don't have that sun time, especially during the times when there's a period of my life where I left the sunny, dry climate of the desert in Nevada, and I lived in Northern California for a few years, where there's a lot more rain and cloudiness and overcast skies, where I just didn't have the sun. And for the first winter I was there, I could really feel the difference. It's like my body went into sun withdrawals. It's really hard to describe how that felt, but I just felt off. My body didn't feel right. And it wasn't until I started doing sun heliotherapy, allowing my body to be bathed in the sunlight, that I made the connection of, oh, this was what my body was missing, going from a lot of sun to no sun all of a sudden. And so you'll feel it. It's a distinct difference, and it really does help you feel so much more positive and bright and uplifted and happy. So you can use natural products and oils to nourish your skin that have natural sunblock qualities to them. You don't have to slather on the dangerous carcinogenic ingredient-laden sunscreens that are filled with that toxic stuff. You can get natural products. There's many of them out there. Just do your research, you'll find them, of natural oils that nourish and moisturize the skin. You can also put essential oils in them. I've talked a lot about essential oils in these videos that are very, very beneficial, very, very nourishing for the skin. So if you'd like to know what oils would be good for your sunscreen products, for natural moisturizing sun products, then contact me. I'm happy to share them with you. You can just drop me an email and ask me about that. Additionally, you can get, as I mentioned earlier, the download that I have for you this week of the template, the lifestyle template of the 7 source channels of nourishment, where you can do that assessment and see how balanced and in harmony you are with ancient principles that I'm sharing with you of what's been known to create health, happiness, and longevity, the sunlight being one of them. So get out into the sun this week. Open the curtains and the drapes and the blinds of your windows. Allow sun into your living environments, and stop being afraid of the sun. It's not your enemy. It gives you life. So get some sun this week. What did you find value of in this video? Did you enjoy it? I'd love to hear from you. How do you nourish yourself with the sun? If you like this video, I encourage you to subscribe to my channel. Click the notification button so that you can receive notices of when I drop another video on my channel. I do that frequently. And share this with your friends and people that you think could benefit from what I share with you on these videos. You can also find me on my website, lauraleehumphreys.com, and on Facebook under my name, Laura Lee Humphreys. So I look forward to hearing your comments about what you do to nourish yourself with the sun. And until next time, enjoy the sun and take care.